Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Underground, and today we are talking about Harlem's finest.
You are now listening to Showtime on WBLS.
Andy Beats.
Showtime Raw, born and raised in Harlem. He also spent time in the Bronx. So obviously that right there is a no-brainer that, he was surrounded by creativity and music everywhere he went. Along with his mother and father being hip hop dancers. So, them being hip hop dancers in the golden era or pioneer era of hip hop, it was just, like I said, it just comes full circle. Now, Showtime Raw is obviously going to be involved in hip hop or music in some way, shape, or form. Here's Showtime Raw going into more detail on what it was like growing up in Harlem and how it influenced his musical taste.
I grew up in a neighborhood that's real close to Apollo. I used to see a lot of people wrapped up on lines doing amateur night at the Apollo, and then you'll see some people freestyling, singing. I guess they was preparing for what they was about to do at amateur night. But that was like right in my neighborhood, so I would see that a lot. Um, on a random day, you see people shooting videos and just wanted to like either jump in there or get on camera. Like I see DMX few times, like when he was doing his thing. Um, Doing Smack DVD was a popular, hip hop rap battle for him. I know everybody know about Smack DVD. I was used to be there, seeing people battling against each other and all that. So, like I said, everywhere you turn, you see the hip hop, especially in Harlem. Out to Dipset, I was around for the Dipset movement and Aaron coming through and then Pink Range Rover, seeing Jewels outside, Jim Jones. I still see Jim Jones running around Harlem. Mace. My parents was in that Mace era also. So it's just a lot of hip hop that comes with Harlem. So it's just if the bug hits you, you know what time it is. I got bit.
Showtime Raw first time recording was when he was in high school, and he actually started off he went straight to an actual professional studio that first time. But here's him going into more detail on just his experience on his first time recording, as well as recording at his family member house as well.
First record I ever recorded, I was in high school. That's my man Rich Ice. Uh, it was all just going to the studio one day, and I just tagged along, and the hook was open. So I had came up with the hook. I remember it was something like "Put your hands in the air and get it poppin'." Like it was something that was dope at the time. And that was like the first time I think I recorded a record. And then shout out to my cousin Big. He had a studio in his living room, and that's where I kind of started like really honing in on my skills. Like we would just track for track, for days, and then from there, like it was no looking back.
Obviously, after Showtime Raw started rapping, not too long after, obviously he had to come up with a rap name. And he came up with the name Showtime in dedication to his father. Like I said, that was a hip hop dancer. His father's stage name or dance name, everybody in the neighborhood would call him Showtime. Here's him going into more detail about that.
So my father, like I said, my father was a hip hop dancer, and they gave him the name Showtime just because how he moved. Like offline, I'm gonna share a few videos with you. He was in like Akinelli, Put It in Your Mouth, that old classic hip hop joint from Akinelli. Shout out to Akinelli. He was in that video. He was in another video of Akinelli called The Bomb. He went on tour with Nice and Smooth. He was in a lot of their videos. I actually just watched the video yesterday, KRS-One. Pops was in that video. So the way he moved his body, that they gave him the name Showtime. Everywhere he went, like whether it was a block party or whether it was the Apollo, like when he got on the stage, gave it all, so that's why he got the name Show. When he passed away and I started writing music and doing my thing, it was like a no-brainer, like, oh, it's your rap name, Showtime. I said it, I felt his spirit. So that's how I really took the name.
Showtime Raw, he started taking music more seriously in 2016. Although he did start off like right off the bat, like just, going to a professional studio in high school when he first started recording and, stuff like that. He really didn't start taking it seriously until 2016 when he was already a school teacher and he had already obtained his master's degree. So in 2016, once he got in the flow of teaching for 2 years. He started in 2014. He got in the flow of teaching, and started getting more comfortable in the environment he was in, teaching and stuff. So then that's when he was like, you know what, I want to start incorporating music into my teaching style since I love hip hop. I want to bring that to my students and show them inspire them in another way to learn and be ambitious and have that love for education. And his song was called I Need My Education. If you go on YouTube right now, it still is up there. I'll play some of the video right now.
Questions being asked, will I ever make it? I have the opportunity, I better take it. Cause I ain't trying to waste it, success I could taste it. So when problems come around, I gotta face it. I need my education. Check it.
But anyways, that was his very first music video, I guess you could say, and his very first time taking music seriously. It actually happened when he was already taking other things in his life seriously. So everything kind of came full circle.
So, the year, this is 2016. So, I always had it in the back of my mind, if I was going to do hip hop, it had to be had to have some type of brand. I had to have something with it outside of just having a skill. Like I said, my first year teaching, right? I never really wanted to be a teacher at first because I just wanted to chase my dreams and do other things. But I was like, all right, cool. I was a part of this program called Teach for America. And I kind of made a deal with myself, all right, this program is going to, I teach in basically a low income school, and they'll send me to school to get my master's for free. That was the deal. And I made a deal with myself, all right, as you start teaching, this is when you should start making music. Because at the time, I'm somebody, that grew up in the father got killed, single parent home and all that. Becoming a teacher as a young black man, I was 22 years old when I started. I felt like this was my moment. But that's the day when I said, all right, I'm gonna start teaching. I'm gonna start taking my music serious. I waited for about 2 years. I wanted my first video to be featured with the students in my class. As a new teacher, I felt like they probably wasn't gonna let me record and have the students in the video and all that. So I waited patiently. I worked 2 years in the school. I obtained my master's degree. And then I was like, all right, cool. School love me. I've been here for a minute. The kids know what I do. And then I remixed Nas One Mic. I called it I Need My Education. Boom. I got permission from the staff, permission from the parents, and that was my first freestyle. And that was my first music video on YouTube. Right now, if you go to my YouTube channel, you scroll all the way down, the very, very first song and music video for Education Freestyle. And that's the day I took it serious. And since then, you'll see 2016 work, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and now we're at 23. I have no breaks. 2016.
Speaking of teaching, he got inspired to get into teaching when his college advisor was talking to him. She told him hey, there's not a lot of black men out here that are educators, teaching in the school system, educating the youth, helping out their community in that type of way, and just inspiring people around them in their community in that type of way. So that's what kind of inspired him to go full into teaching and just have more ambition with studying on becoming a teacher. And congratulations to him, because this year is his 10th year anniversary teaching. He started teaching in 2014, so congratulations to Showtime.
So I started teaching actually in 2014. So I started the music, taking it seriously 2 years after I started teaching, which is when I got my master's degree. Like something that happened to me in that graduation, I was like, wait, I was 24, when I earned my master's degree. At this point, you know how I'm feeling. I'm in the crowd, I'm looking around, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I have a master's degree at 24 years old in teaching. That's why I had to go all out with hip hop. We gonna get into that. I was a little, upset when it didn't go how I wanted to go, like in the beginning, because I was like, yo, I'm from the hood. I've got a bachelor's, a master's. I'm rap. Like, what y'all doing? I'm teaching the youth. Y'all don't, But over time, I got to my third eye, and the consciousness started kicking even at a higher level when I really started realizing, oh, okay. I don't know if we're gonna take it there yet, but to go back to the question, I started teaching in 2014. I teach math. So I've taught fifth grade math, I've taught sixth grade math, I've taught seventh grade math. I was the dean of student culture at one point. So yeah, I've been doing it for a while now. It's actually been 10 years. This year is actually my 10th year in education. And what got me into education, honestly, was my college advisor. He was basically acknowledging me one day, telling me how there's not a lot of black male educators right now. And, in college, I used to talk like that a lot, like coming back to being a positive influence in my community. Over time, she got a chance to know me, and she was like, "Look, I think this is an opportunity for you. I think you should do this." And then she introduced me to like a program. I went on the interview. I didn't really care too much about getting a role. So I just went in there and I was just myself. I had a good time, making everybody laugh. I did like a little demo lesson on math, and when I walked out of there, they was like clapping. They were just like, "Look, what we gotta do to get you to come back to New York City?" And I was just looking at everybody like, "Yo, this is for real." Like, yeah, I really think that. All right. And honestly, I just took that leap of faith. Like, all right, if I take this opportunity to teach, I get a chance to come back to New York City where I'm from and help kids learn. That's what's a greater feeling than that. So I started, and I'm still here because the impact there. And now I kind of understand my purpose a little bit more. I got deeper as I continued, and I really started to see that this is what it was from the start.
Speaking of teaching and music, like incorporating, like the way how Showtime Raw incorporated all that together at his school and inspiring the youth. The rapper Dame Dash, or Damon Dash, he came by the school and was like, "I like what y'all are doing. I like this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a podcast type of radio studio style in the school, so that way the kids can really be inspired even more to know, hey, I can get into broadcasting if I want to. Like, say, like kids that might have was already thinking about going to college for broadcasting or radio, being a radio personality or podcasting. It may have inspired them even more, or it may have taught them like, hey, I could do this independently myself. I can get my start just practicing at my school. So shout out to Dame Dash for just coming to Showtime Raw school and all of them collaborating together to continue to inspire the youth with that business mindset, and just education in general.
With Dame Dash, he actually put the podcast studio. Well, they collaborated and created a podcast studio inside the school. And I was already the teacher in the school that was known for making music and being in the studio and just doing these kind of things. So once they showed me the podcast studio, they just kind of like, you want to do what's up with it. And from there, I just learned the game. You know me, man. I'm a lover of learning. So you put something around me that I'm interested in, I probably sleep there. Not going nowhere. Like, how does this work? How does that work? And from that day, I was like, same thing. I had the vision. I'm like, yo, I need to, one, I could help inspire kids, take advantage of having things like this inside your school, like a podcast studio, recording studio. And two, I have a powerful message myself. And also, like I said, I started to understand that I need to out there, you know what I mean? Because this needs to be this brand I feel like needs to be just have a representation in the world, like positivity, somebody that benefited from education, somebody that's, hip hop. I just took advantage of the opportunity and went right into it. I came up with a name, How to Beat the Streets, because that's just something that I always felt like was a gift of mine. Like I was able to live in some of the roughest neighborhoods and still able to like navigate my way through. I went through a lot of ups and downs, but education and staying focused, being a leader from the start, know, helped me escape all the things that come with the streets. So I was like, How to Beat the Streets. That's gonna be my brand. Put it together, and I press play on the we call it the Streamlabs, and same thing. This is on YouTube too. It's called the pilot episode. You can watch me live, like I'm literally saying on the mic, like, "Yo, I'm still learning how to do this, but I don't care. You don't have to be perfect. Just get started." You know what I mean? And that's the pilot episode. And now, since then, I done had Wallow, named as Principal Rob. I done had Principal Cook. I done had the Bougie Banker. There's a lot of great people that came on the show. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to I could name so many people that came and just blessed my show, and that's also a testament of like, not worried about being perfect. Like, there's an opportunity here, take it. And me and Dame, started building a relationship. Sat down with me, gave me the blessings, and they're rocking. So I had the radio personality, podcast host to the gram.
So far, Showtime Raw, from what we counted, pretty much has 12 projects out on all platforms, but technically, if Dat Piff was still out, he would have tons of mixtapes still out there, and then on top of that, he has tons of singles that are still out there. So he has just a bunch of music out, and like he said in the full interview, go and look at that once I put it up. But like he said in the full interview, ever since he started rapping, especially from 2016 on up to now, he has had no breaks. He keeps on going. So y'all go and check out his music and support him. Follow him on all of his social media platforms. All that will be in the description down below. And these are some words of wisdom that Showtime would like to leave the audience with.
Follow the signs. I feel like, being positive is a reason why it's not promoted right now. You know what I mean? It's not promoted because I feel like it's a special power to go against the grain. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't really talk about this, but I feel like a lot of things that's promoted on a mass level, sometimes it'd be the easier way. So I like to tell people, when things get challenging, I tell the students that I work with this all the time. Like, if something is challenging, that's the thing that I want to do even more. I know that's the thing that's going to give me a greater reward. So that'll be my message or my gem to give to the people. Like, stay the course, but also don't shy away from the challenging work. Like, if it's aligned to your pathway, and I would get excited, like, oh, this is hard, yes, because I already know what's about to happen. Like, lessons is coming. You know what I mean? So, especially if you're choosing a positive route, like, this is like, to me, it's like a no-brainer. I don't even worry no more about quote unquote making it. I already made it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing what I like to do, helping my people, take care of my family. So anything else is a plus, especially when you come to projects like we talked about it earlier. My father got shot and killed when I was 8 years old. A lot of people wouldn't think that I would be here right now. So I'm somebody who's serving as an example. You know what I mean? And the more I do, the more example that I get to show to people, like what could happen if you get a course, but also positive.
Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in another Underground episode. Hey everybody, welcome to my revamped website, CatriceRootsProductions.com. I wanted to make this revamped website a one-stop shop where you could come and purchase my clothing brands. So far, I just have one out, which is my Glad to Be Alive clothing brand. And with each purchase you make under the Glad to Be Alive clothing brand, 10% will be donated to Rough and Neurolab. Another 10% will be donated to the National MS Society. Aside from that, though, I wanted this to be a one-stop shop where if you don't want to purchase merchandise, but you just want to donate directly to me or Rough and Neurolab or MS Society, you can do that. Or if you want to purchase services I have, such as videography, photography, video editing, and even music services, I have that as well. So come on by CatriceRootsProductions.com to check out more.